Howdy y'all, my name is Brent Haverton Mist Runner, told more of the Mist Runner tribe, and today I want to talk to y'all about Patchwerk. Patchwerk is a pretty hard-hitting boss in Naxxramas and a good benchmark for knowing if you're tanky enough to tank 25s. I'm walking into this fight with a bunch of gear from Heroics, with some stuff that I crafted from engineering, and stuff that I got from my emblems of heroism and valor and so on. I'm just going around here to get some of these little critters, so I have a full rage bar getting ready for the fight. Patchwerk, you want to have 3 tanks, and you want to make sure the DPS are all below the top 3 tanks in terms of threat. As you can see here, I've got 34.5k health as a Tauren. I've got the Armor Elixir, and I've got the Agility Elixir, and I've got the Fish Feast as my buffs. I also have one of these Runes of Warding on my chest piece. I don't know if you really need that, but I have it. And then I've got my Indestructible Potion, which is like the new Iron Shield or Stone Shield. Now I'm opening this up with the Recklessness. 6 seconds, I've got crits. I'm tanking the boss here. I get my Throne crit, Heroic crit, and a Shield Slam crit, and I'm off to the races. Now, we had a problem here. Let's just get a review on the play. Our 3 tank got killed by a Hateful Strike. The Hateful Strikes hit really hard, and they don't crit. Oops, I'm gonna fix this. The Hateful Strikes hit very hard and they don't crit. And you want to make sure that you as a tank are prepared. Now, what do you need to do to be prepared? You need a pre-pot. You need to pre-pot this Indestructible Potion. So I'm going to show you the pull timer here just a little bit more closely. Okay, you see this? The tanks are all stacked up here. Now we're going to get the pull timer. You see 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. I'm hitting my Recklessness, Defensive Stance, Indestructible Potion. And I've got Commanding Shout up. That's important. 34.5k health. Okay, so he just killed the rogue running in. And he's hitting the Hateful on the DK. DK survived. Hateful of Paladin. Paladin died. And this is a fight where you have to have a mixture of threat management and mitigation. Whoever is in the front with threat doesn't take huge hits. I'll show you the damage incoming throughout this fight, but they don't take huge hits all at once. They take really fast, regular hits. The main tank, by far, takes the most damage incoming on Patchwerk, but they don't take the largest individual hits. I'll show you the incoming damage here. Look up here. I've got parry, but I've got a bunch of pre-healing on me. People pre-casting, parry, miss. He's hitting me, dodge. 11 point K, 11, 9. Dodge. You see, he's hitting really fast, but he's hitting me for about 10k, which isn't too crazy. He's hitting the Hatefuls harder than that. You can see Fasani, he's taking most of these here. But because we've only got 2 tanks in the front, he's going to start dunking on the melee DPS, unfortunately. So we've got no problem getting way out in front in threat, and it's awesome. I looked at the logs after this fight, and I did 3.7k DPS as a Prot Warrior, which feels amazing. I didn't even know that we could do that much damage, but Wrath of the Lich King Prot Warrior is back pro level. We are strong once again. In BC, we had poop crap threat, no DPS. It was a sad time. You could tank stuff, and you could be a progression tank, and you could tank all of Sunwell and so on, but Bears just scaled way better. That's just how it was. But now in Wrath, we are threat beasts, and it feels pretty good. But mitigation still matters a lot, and if you have a tank die, whoever is third in threat in melee range is going to get chopped. Patchwerk does hit really hard, and he hits really fast. So I want to make sure I've got my Indestructible Potion. You see this up here? The first one is about to expire that I hit before the pull. And if you hit it before the pull, you got a minute cooldown on it. And I Indestructible Potion right again. You see that? I'm going to show you that again. This is really important, because you can take a lot more damage incoming if you don't have this huge amount of armor from this potion. Look at this. I have it bound to shift 2. I hit it right away. And I'm just going Heroic Strike, Shield Slam, I'm hitting Devastate, and I'm hitting my threat trinket again. I got the hit trinket here, because I'm hungry for some threat, and I want to get Patchwerk down. I like playing it aggressive as a tank. I like to figure out the danger level of the fight, and then I like to ride the lightning and really slap them. Now, I know some people are all about effective health pool and all that, and that does matter in a lot of cases. But in this case here, I've been looking pretty safe. Look at my health bar. We're fine. The healers are spamming me, and I have very strong healers in my guild. Now, I've talked about this before as a general tank rule. If you are in a situation where you have pug healers or healers who are undergeared, or you don't trust them or you don't know them, play it safe. Put some more mid on. But if you've got your best healers on your team, you can get a little bit aggressive if your guild is cool with that. So, we're tanking this boss, keeping it nice and crisp, refreshing that thunderclap, refreshing that demo shout. And now he's enraged. I get my shield wall. Shield wall the enrage. He does hit pretty hard here. But shield wall is very strong. Look how fast he's attacking me. But I don't give a crap. And we got him. Now I want to go through this again a little bit and look at the rotation here. Because the Prompt Warrior rotation is one of the most involved, and it has some decision making in it. So we'll go back to the pool here. Reminder that if you're tanking this fight as an off tank, really it's just a rule of the jungle for threat. Whoever gets it gets it. So anyone who's tanking should be prepared to be the main tank or the off tank, and your gear loadout should reflect that. So here I've got Vigilance up. I put it on one of our hunters. Gives some of the threat to me. I got my Indestructible Potion. I've got my Trinket popped. I throw my Heroic Throw. And now I'm prioritizing Shield Slam. I'm hitting Heroic Strike every time because Patchwerk just gives me tons of rage with all his damage he does. Revenge. Heroic Strike every time. Shield Slam every time it's up. Revenge. And then basically any extra globals I get, I can spend into Devastate. Shockwave is also good. If you have 5 Sunders on the target, you can Shockwave instead of Devastate. That's fine. You see I'm making a little bit of mistake here. My Thunderclap wasn't up for a few seconds. I would count that as a mark against me. It's good to be disciplined about keeping the debuff uptime on the boss. That gives you a lot of protection against getting a big spike of incoming damage. Now I want to refresh those soon if I can. Rook Strike, Revenge. Sometimes you can have an Arms Warrior help you with the Thunderclap Demo Shout. Occasionally we'll do that for like a threat-sensitive fight where the opening is kind of tricky. But in Wrath of the Lich King, threat is a lot less of an issue. So just making sure you're able to survive the fights and stuff. But overall, Patchwerk is not hitting relatively as scary hard as in Vanilla Classic. But he's still something to respect here. Because you can see if the pool is a little bit scuffed, your melee DPS are just going to get chopped. And your hunters who like to melee weave and that kind of a thing. So keep in mind, you want to make sure you can survive Patchwerk's Hatefuls. You want to make sure that you're able to smooth the incoming damage with things like Shield Block, with things like Thunderclap, Demo Shout, whatever defensives you have, and then having Indestructible Potion up for the whole fight. You pre-pop Indestructible Potion right before the pull, so you get a full 2 minutes of it. You put it on a 1 minute cooldown, and then whenever that 2 minutes expires, 3, 2, 1, you see it up there in the top right, I refresh it right away. And I hit my Trinket again, get a little bit more damage, a little bit more threat, a little bit more Zug Zug, Shield Block again as soon as it's up, Revenge every time I can't Shield Slam every time I can, Thunderclap Demo Shout refresh, I'm trying to hit Revenge, I'm trying to hit Shield Slam. So it's a pretty smooth fight here from my perspective as a main tank. From the perspective of the melee DPS, they're just about to get chopped. So it's pretty scary if your off tank falls behind in threat. And it's really hard to catch up in threat if you get killed early on. So you want to be able to make sure that you have a decent mid set. And then another thing that your guild can do is just have the DPS wait a couple seconds. Or you can MD whichever tank is struggling with threat at the start. So you've got hunters who can MD, you've got rogues who can use tricks of the trade. All that stuff can be really useful tools for you in managing the threat to make sure that the hatefuls go to the correct people who are geared correctly. But Patchwerk is a really fun fight. I really like the tank and spake sort of fights. These are really fun. You get to just focus on your rotation, focus on being really big in both your mitigation and your damage output, and just try to overpower Patchwerk. But anyways, I wanted to show y'all this fight because it's a really fun one. And it's one of my favorites from both Vanilla Classic and Wrath. You get to really flex just your strength overall that you've been obtaining with your gear and with your skills of being able to do your single target rotation. If you have any funny stories about this fight, or you have any comments on it, feel free to let me know. And for me, Brun, ancestors watch over you. Best of luck with those hatefuls and stuff.